Alright, so that's our setup. That's the initial, we got into the airport. Now let's think about it. First think about 3-act story. We got there. Now, what were the biggest problems that just happened? How do you overcome them? Whether they were personal problems or whether they were just how did you get through those 6 years?
Quite the question. So you guys are gonna have to wait till not tomorrow's vlog, because I got one more that I need to finish up, but you are gonna have to wait one more vlog after that to find out about John's experience. You're not gonna have to wait one more vlog. That is today's vlog. And by the way, hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's vlog about having asthma attacks and almost dying. I'm gonna jump right into that one, but real quick before I do, just want to share with you guys, past week has been a lot of self-reflection and just figuring out a little bit more. And coming to terms with myself. And I think it's good for anybody and everybody. I'm going to be talking more about that probably in tomorrow's vlog, but figured I'd leave it to me not to bring the phone. I was going to call John, see if he made it safely to Wilmington, and if he put out that music video. But we're gonna go ahead and jump back into what you guys came to see.
6 years, and how did you become a better person from that?
I think a lot of the problems I had were just personal problems because, you know, I joined when I was 20 years old. Well, I turned 21 when I was in basic training, but
he wasn't no Eminem. You're 20, or what do you say, 20 or 20? I'm 28, you ain't gonna take me for 18. Sorry.
Nice.
Go.
I'm not the only one singing songs. Anyway.
That's why I had Alexa here, you know, but hey, it's what it is. And this camera, look at this camera right here. This is supposed to be our nice little detail, but we don't really have anything we're dealing with right now. So she's just gonna be not doing anything, wasting my space on my computer.
A lot of the problems that I had were personal problems, being that I just wasn't very mature, and I was kind of naive. I didn't know as much about life as I thought I did, and Air Force kind of forced me to grow up because I met all these people who had way more life experience than I did, and you know, in certain ways, it kind of showed me how much I don't know, and you know, I had friendships end in weird ways just because, you know, I didn't know how to handle certain situations.
Oh, he's so smart, and I think that is what he's saying is so critical. I think a lot of people do go through that. It just depends on. Hey, King. Hey, buddy. You want up, or you want pizza? I'll give you some more pizza if you don't want just that pizza.
Yeah, I'd rather you go jumping out and can't move on.
Or just pee, you know, whatever. We're just gonna pee on the deck. That's what we do.
Come on, undies.
Here, you want to take this pizza and undies. And I'll get you more pizza.
Come on.
We did get a little bit of cloud cover. So, with I feel like a lot of people come to that moment at different times in their lives, and I think it's a really key lesson to learn is that it's not all just about you, that there's a lot of different things going on in the world and relationships in your life, and the sooner you can kind of take yourself completely out of your head and understand different perspectives, different cultures, different attitudes, I feel like you're a better person for it. You want up? Guest appearance. What's up, King? Ready? You got your rescue bots?
Looks like
Would you
he's
agree
not
with
in
that?
the mood for anything today.
You're just like me. Just wake up face. Here, I'm gonna actually pass Titan over to you. So is there a specific like instance that you can think of? I mean, you don't have to be like
Don't be
super
so
personal or anything like that, but anything that you just stands out in your mind that you think just made a difference, like a really key difference in your life when it happened, whether good or bad, whether it's like, for an example, like say you had to do the strongman, Iron Man, whatever, where you're like, man, this is some bullshit. I gotta do this I gotta get up early. I gotta do all this, but at the end of it, you learned more than just how to achieve this strongman, whatever. There was something else, or maybe a bad relationship ended, and you found out a little bit more about yourself as far as like just a person.
I mean, I think
Those are just examples.
well, one key difference was just my job in general. Like, I didn't know anything about working on aircraft, but that's the job that assigned me, so I had to learn it. I had a tough time with it in tech school, and I had a tough time when I actually started doing the job. But you know, I learned that, you know, this may not be something that I want to do, and I may not be good at it now, but it is my job, and you know, if it's helping to defend the nation, you know, it's something I need to learn. So at some point I just kind of snapped out of the I don't want to do this phase and just did it and learned my job, got good at it. I did have a relationship that kind of ended because it became long distance, and you know, that taught me that I'm not maybe very good at handling breakups or long distance or anything like that. And just, you know, learning that there's only certain people that you can trust. Like, you shouldn't. I used to be an open book, but there's certain people.
Talk about like John is the epitome of what I feel like maybe I should be as far as like saying stuff. Like he's like one of the, so here goes an example of Will. Will's like, yeah, and then we did this, and then we did this, and then we did this. But John's on the other hand, he's like, listening, just hear it, hear it, and then he'll respond with something you don't even expect. You're like, huh, wait, what? And then it checks you. I like John's. He can be closed off sometimes, but I also think that's part of there's a balance, whether we're between giving out too much, you can get hurt a lot, and you got to deal with that, and also kind of being closed where you're able to kind of defend yourself and make yourself a little bit more prepared for, you know, life isn't all just fucking uniforms. It's, you know, it's life. So you got to be prepared for that. So there's always a happy balance between that. And I think I'm a little bit more on the, like, this was like the balance scale. I'm a little bit further on there. So I find myself, you know, sometimes I get all hurt about stupid stuff and then realize. And I feel like John's just a little bit, but I don't think he's dramatically this way and dramatically that way. Like,
yeah,
fair?
that's fair.
Yeah. So
life has changed me, I'll say that.
So 6 years in the force, was there a point in that you felt like, oh my God, I might die? Like, this might be it.
Afghanistan, because I was there for about 7 months, and you know, you had Taliban who would constantly attack us. Like, they would shoot mortars and rockets over the.
We're talking like hundreds of feet away. Like, you're like
okay. So where I was, the air base I was at, Bagram Airfield, I mean, was it's in a valley, kind of like Asheville is in a valley, and so you've got all these mountains surrounding it. Well, you know, you could have these rebels that would post up in the mountains because they can see us, like they can see
they're
the
on
flight
top
line.
of the mountain, you're in the valley.
Yeah,
they're looking down.
So they can just set off these rockets. They have no way of knowing where they're gonna land or if they're gonna be duds or not. But they can just shoot them off, walk away, and then they hit us. Like they'll. Support.
That's perfect. That's good.
But anyway, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, King? So, just that entire time there, or was it?
I mean, yeah, I kind of
How do you cope with that? How like you does it get to the point where you're like, well, I might die today. Okay,
Exactly.
Or I just fucking go about my day.
Yeah, I was like, if I go, then it was just my time to go. I'm not even gonna try and fight it. I mean, I'm still gonna, you know, obviously you still gotta try and run to the bunkers and whatnot. But I mean, it's like if this rocket hits me right now, there's nothing I can do. So
you accept it almost like getting hit by a car or something.
Yeah, the first couple times that the attacks happened, it was kind of a shock. But then,
so
and some people
something
didn't.
that you can bring up on YouTube just to give them a visual. It's real. It doesn't have to be like something you view, but just in general, where you were at, Afghanistan, Iraq, or a specific place, or even a Google map that brings up a.
Oh yeah, I've searched it before. So you hear the alarm like just out of nowhere, and you're like, oh shit, here we go. Maybe this is a good one.
That's close.
Yep.
Incoming.
So when you hear that, you got to get down on the ground. They say for now what that is. Around the time I was leaving, we got these new C-Rams, and they basically shoot at the rockets, and they can shoot them out the sky.
Oh, so they're like defense rockets.
Yeah, exactly. So usually when you hear the alarm, you're gonna hear that sound. It's pretty much like a Gatling gun almost. It uses all this crazy technology to determine where the rocket is and where it'll be when it shoots off the whatever. You know, I'm not the most, I'm probably not the best to explain this, but here, I'll even show you what exactly I'm talking about. C-RAM, counter-rocket artillery and mortar. Let me find a good part. I feel like this might drag on. Yep, here we go. So there's the rounds.
And that's shooting up to hit it.
Yeah, it's trying to figure out where it is.
Incoming.
Jesus. I'll probably piss my pants.
Yeah, it's funny because
Sorry.
when we were about to get out of there, so we've been there since like September, October, whatever. When we were getting out of there probably around April time frame, they moved us into the transient dorms so that the unit taking our spot, they took our dorms, so we moved into like pretty much like a hotel except way shittier. And there was a C-RAM that was like right next to the dorm, and think of that transient dorm as like a warehouse. So the walls are like paper thin, and so we're laying in bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you hear incoming, and then you hear the C-RAM. It's just like right there, and it's so loud. You're like, ugh.
And so I'm willing to bet, like if I had it, almost like, and this is minute compared to what he had to go through, but we used to live out in Candler, and there was this loud ass train that would come by our house non-stop all the time, and it would always it was so loud it would shake the trailer. And the first few times I was like, what the hell is this shit? Are we gonna be okay? Type of thing. Like it's really close.
Yeah.
And after like a month or two, I didn't even hear the train anymore. It was just kind of like,
yeah,
the train's there. So I guess, I mean, that's
kind of,
I think that's a good reflection of how to deal with a lot of the stuff. So before we get into Act 3 of this, the last kind of part, this is the good part, but how did you deal with, yeah, he's just rolling, he's chewing. How did you deal with others around you that they were having a hard time? Someone beat your camera's still rolling?
Yeah.
I heard another, oh, that was, okay, good throw. How did you deal with the people around you that maybe weren't as strong, or how did you help them through a few things? People that are just like, it's real. It's not like a,
I don't know, like we,
he's like, I'm chilling, I'm eating my pizza, I'm pizzaed out. Poor guy's face is like blocked by the computer. Hey!
well, I don't know. I remember one time we were getting attacked and we had to run to the bunker, and there's this dude, and he had just got there, I think, and he was like seriously, he was crying. He was like, you know, I'm never getting to see my mama again, and you know, stuff like that. And I was just kind of desensitized to it by that point. So we just, I don't know, you had some of the guys that are kind of like giving him shit, giving him a hard time, but me, I was just kind of like, it was weird. I was trying to empathize, but I was kind of over it by that point. So I just told him, I was like, look, man, we'll be fine. You know, we have safety protocols in place to kind of protect us from these kinds of attacks. And I pretty much told him what. Yeah?
Yeah, see. Is your cast purple, blue, pink? He was damn sure getting his pink cast. We were like, what color are you getting? I think that's what today's world is too today. Like, give a damn. What? Like what? Nah, I don't let him watch that thing. It's not because it's Barbie, but it's inappropriate as hell. Call Jonathan Ryan.
Which phone number for Jonathan Ryan? Calling Jonathan Ryan. iPhone.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 82845011212 is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
John, clear out your inbox, man. I'm trying to leave you a voicemail. So, pretty much, probably half the battle is mental.
Yes, because there's a lot of things in life that you can't control, that being one of them. So you kind of just have to learn to let go of the need to control certain things in life.
He figured out what he wanted to do. He went through the strife, the struggle, and came out. Do you want to use the word hero? I don't think you want to use that, but what would you, in your mind, you served these 6 years. Mm-hmm. While you're doing this, you're also doing a little bit of filming on the side, understanding a little bit more. And John always wanted to do filmmaking or camera. I don't want to use the wrong word for you, but camera operating. Like, you always wanted to do something with film way before the Air Force. I remember you making shorts of Zizika, and that's a whole nother story. But I remember that you came out 6 years strong. What would you say as far as filmmaking person, as well as your skill set as far as an airman?
Were you saying how did that enhance my skills?
Maybe so, yeah, something like that. Or like, how did you come, like when the last day you were out,
yeah,
like what did you do, what did you feel like, how was that?
I didn't know how to feel. It was kind of like a mix of emotions, because it was kind of a sigh of relief because I was done. Like, I actually made it 6 years, didn't die, didn't get in trouble, didn't die. You know, it was a lot, and it's like, now I can do whatever I want. But also, on the flip side, that's scary, because it's like, wait a minute, I can do whatever I want, but I don't know what I want to do. So it's like you no longer have that safety net. you don't know where your next
You've been
paycheck is coming
that same
from.
routine for 6 years, and
Exactly.
now it's like, well, what the hell
It's
do I
like
do now?
I have to learn how to be a civilian again, and what am I supposed to do?
So what did you do?
Well, until I figured it out, I kind of went back home for a year. You know, I did a couple random jobs, like I was an overnight stalker at a grocery store. I knew I wanted to go to college, and I took like a couple classes. And then I worked in a warehouse. That was pretty fun.
You also worked for a news station too. I think that was another pivotal point for
That was
John.
after I left home. So I left Asheville after a year of being a civilian. I moved to Wilmington. That's when I decided I was going to go to school. Never been to Wilmington in my life, but I knew that they had this great film program at the school I went to. So I went, completed the 2-year program in under 2 years. And he's like checking himself out.
Look at all that, look at all that.
But anyway, so yeah, it was in that year time span in Asheville that I decided, yeah, I want to go to school for film.
Do you think you found a little bit more about yourself in that year process?
I absolutely did. I realized I was a much different person than I was when I left, because friends, you know, my old friends would be like, oh man, I remember when you used to be like this and you used to look like that, and so on and so forth. And you know, I started working out a little bit, so I changed both physically and mentally. And I learned. Oh, go ahead.
So I'm going to share a little bit later on, and it'll probably be in the next vlog or whenever we do this again. We got rain rolling in on us, but to really wrap this up, I feel like what John experienced, and also you guys have kind of followed my personal journey, is that even as you kind of hit that summit, you get to the point where you think you're going to be, you always continue to improve, and you're always going to go through certain things in your life that make you stronger, make you better, but it's not exactly about the end point. It's really about doing it and going for it and making it all happen. Like John going in, putting himself in harm's way to serve for his country, like I can't say that, and that's something that's core to him. And I think when you're talking to I can feel it. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
So, John, what if you had to wrap this up in like 30 seconds? What would you say?
About
Just in general, like you're John. I'm not John.
yeah, that's true.
That is true. So, guys, that's what it's gonna be. John. I'm not Johnny.
Yeah. I mean, all I can say is life is, when people say life is unpredictable, that's definitely not an exaggeration. I'm at a different point now than I thought I would be, you know, when I started the Air Force journey. I've learned a lot. Some things that I thought were false or true, and vice versa. I don't know, I feel like I'm just kind of rambling, but life is a journey. It's a raging sea of randomness. Just sometimes you just gotta go with the flow.
Yeah. John is different in all these ways, but he is the same John I've known from the very beginning, which is why I can hang out and enjoy time with John just like in the old days. So stay woke, stay you. So stay you, and go call your best friend. Hang out. Cool. Peace. Bye. So glad you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. David, Friday, let's do a vlog.